Let us get to it. This is called the glass ceiling, and we were discussing some things because of the current events of today.
I got some pretty legs.
Current event, this guy. Current events, man.
Yeah. So let me interject real quick because I ain't gonna do a whole lot of talking tonight.
Me either.
But one thing I love about like our format that the Lord gave us is that we didn't establish rules, so we're able to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days ago, the world, I guess, collectively was watching as the founder of Virgin Galaxy, Virgin Music, Virgin whatever, Dr. Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson, took a plane and a rocket into space.
Into space.
And it was a fantastic event that a lot of people saw. And what's funny is we kind of were, I'm not going to say inundated. I'm going to say a few people were saying, see, somebody actually flew into space. The world is curved. Whatever.
It's a ball. Yeah,
it's a ball. That type of thing. And so let me say this too. And I don't know. One of our probably most well-known series was when we did a series on science versus the scriptures.
Yes.
We were going live for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I said this, but full transparency, I was a globe guy.
Okay. That's real.
I was a globe guy all of my life until somebody was like, man, you crazy, man. The world is, it's round, but it's flat.
Your brother said that.
Right, my brother said it to me. And I was like, come on, man, we got pictures. I mean, what are you talking about? We've been to the moon.
Right,
I'm giving the whole spiel. We all did the
right.
solar system in school.
Right.
And even as a science teacher, which I am, around that time I'm a science teacher.
Hey, right.
I was teaching, in third grade, we hone in on the Earth's axis and rotation, and season and revolution, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
As I began to think about it, I realized I never thought about it. Right. I've had some problems, with certain things that didn't make sense to me. I never understood how the water could stay on the bottom, and I've always been fascinated, even as a kid, with the moon for some reason. I don't know. The moon always fascinated. But it wasn't until I kind of was like listening to something like the fact that we don't have any photographs of the Earth. So I went back, did some research, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is common basic knowledge, even from NASA. They'll tell you that even the photographs that we do have, they manipulate them in certain ways to make them look like certain things. Went back and started looking at moon landings. They're basically saying that they don't have the footage anymore, that these are replicas of what the footage should have looked like. I'm looking for a picture of the Earth. I'm just looking for all this kind of stuff, and I guess I get sucked into this rabbit hole, and I don't see nothing. Like it's nothing there. And conversations with my great brothers that I always say are smarter than me, and my brother who we should go ahead and get a night too. I came to this realization that a lot of stuff that we have been told is just pure conjecture. I mean, a lot of it.
That's serious.
And who conjured?
And we're being taught it like it's fact. I mean, if you think about it, you walk into a classroom in any school, you're going to see a globe.
Get the ball.
Kids at the early ages, we go tell our mom we got to get different styrofoam balls, cut into them things, solar systems, even the layers of the Earth. We got to color them in. You know what I'm saying? These are
cross section,
all that good stuff, and you don't think about it. And it wasn't until I started thinking about it that I realized that the Bible talks completely different than the model that we consult.
And you're a teacher, and you assess that.
Yeah.
I asked someone that I went to high school with, who's a preacher, and vocalist, someone you know. I'll tell you later. But I literally just texted him and said, real question, is the Bible true or false? Let's see if I get an answer. I don't think I got an answer. But I said, hey,
I was
sir,
just talking about that today with
is the Bible true or false? And there is no answer. But I would like to have an answer from you in the chat. I would like for you to call somebody, text your pastor.
I would like to say this. The pastor that was riding in my vehicle today, not more than 2 hours ago, an elder, soon to be 70, and he said the Bible is true.
That's what he said.
True.
And did it like that. I know he did that whole thing.
You see it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me no
That part.
question. It's true. You want to know? Go read it.
Now, I can appreciate that. And you're a teacher as well. The only issue that I have is that I've been told by so-called pastors, people who are pastors of churches, people starting churches, people that are in Bible classes.
Self-proclaimed, those who
Yes.
are called, and those who answer someone else's call.
That part. That there are a lot of elements of it that is just poetic Hebrew language. There's elements in it that they were trying to describe something that they had no idea what it was, and they put it just in their terms. And that the Bible shouldn't be used in certain conversations.
Woo. I don't want to be in a conversation where God is not welcome.
Well,
I
that's interesting,
would
too.
say that some of that is how you should read the Bible, right?
Okay.
Some of that. Let me see if I can make my point briefly.
Please,
Okay.
validate.
Everything. Oh man, I hate saying stuff like this, but everything in the Bible isn't true because some people that are speaking are making mistakes. But you have to pay attention to who's speaking. Let me just kind of give you
Yeah, help us, Reverend. I see what you're saying. I know.
When God calls Moses at the burning bush, he says to God, who should I say sent me?
Right.
God says, tell him I am. Moses says, they're not going to believe that we had this conversation because blah, 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 blah.
Right.
What Moses said wasn't a biblical principle. He was just stating his opinion about what was going to happen.
Right.
What God said was the divine part, that I am sent you.
Right.
And guess what? Moses was wrong because they did believe him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just because it's in the Bible doesn't necessarily mean that it's purely true.
Right.
But you have to look at the
No.
context.
No.
Right.
Not purely truth because men are telling the story.
Right.
But I'm talking about the Bible is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But I just wanted to get some clear, like, you know,
Not truth from out of the mouth of men.
Right.
But purely true. True, not true.
And when the speakers are telling you things that essentially they're claiming is divinely inspired, you got to take that as it is.
Right.
If somebody's acting like it's poetic, you know, because you can tell when they're being poetic, they kind of qualify certain things.
Right.
But when they're basically saying, you know, this happened, that happened, God said that, well, we take it the way that it comes. You can't decide that something is figurative, that the writer is saying, no, this happened. Right? We can't do that.
We do it in everyday speech though. You know, it's left to what I think it is.
Yeah,
even
my truth.
Right. So you can't ask me what I said and then tell me what it is.
Right.
You can't do
So
that.
what about standing at the crucifixion or in some proximity of the crucifixion? He didn't say a mumbling word. Wait a minute. He prayed for his captain.
Come on, bro.
Wait a minute.
He
screamed out to his father in heaven.
Right. You talking?
So what happened?
Which
one happened?
What actually was it?
But they all did happen from perspective.
And at different times. So even with four different writers, four different perspectives of the same
wasn't
event.
The truth.
Right.
But it was all true.
True.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you take it out of context, you will go from there thinking, oh, they lied in the Bible. That Jesus
Right.
didn't say nothing the whole time.
Right.
At a point in time, he didn't say anything.
Right.
But then there were times he did.
You could have walked away.
Right, and you didn't know.
You didn't know.
Right, you ignorant.
Yeah, you went to
that's
recession. You went to the refreshment stand.
Well, you wanted to see the football game.
You know, people
You left church.
back in the day, they used to picnic.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. Pick a nigga right then. Oh, you can't
At
say that.
lunches,
Well,
they
we
would-
on YouTube.
Picnic. Oh, I don't know.
You can say what you want to say.
Well, listen.
Hold on,
that's
let's
a-
not say back in the day about that anymore.
last week,
'Cause they was lynching people. They lynched somebody in Virginia not long ago.
last month. Yes.
So now we gotta stop saying
You
back
gotta
in
say
the
back
day.
in the day. You gotta say.
What's going on right now?
What's
Slavery
going on?
right now.
Listen, you say the interesting point, Press, about what God said. That was the truth and truth. We were supposed to be talking about Genesis 1. Now, yes, someone wrote it down, but it's specifically God alone by himself executing things. So can it be any more true? Or
It can't be no more true, especially when the writer is saying, look, this is exactly how this thing took place.
He told me this how it happened.
Right.
That can't be conjecture or
So how did the right? I think the question, of course, would be for those who would play devil's advocate. The question would be, well, then how did he get the information? How was the information delivered to that writer? Right?
Mhm.
He didn't do any scientific deductions. He didn't do any
Right,
experiments.
right.
He didn't do the carbon dating of the rocks. You can't find the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
So how
How
do
can it
we
be true?
know?
How can
How
it
do
be
we
true?
know? How do we know that?
That's good, sir. How? Help us. How? Do you know?
I know because I believed first.
That's good too.
And since he whom I believe in first has never wronged me, I choose to put my faith in his every word.
I like it. I like it. I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
I'll take it.
And I think that what makes it even more, poignant for me is, we didn't do the carbon dating, we didn't do the science.
Mhm.
It was whatever was taught was accepted as fact.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But now, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10,000 years later, you can almost prove that everything that person was told is absolutely
You
You can't prove the flood.
right.
You can prove
Yeah, you can, and it all makes sense with that what was said then. It doesn't make sense with what they tried to tell us over the last 200 or 300 years. For
It
what
doesn't
they
make
said
sense.
then,
Right.
everything.
Oh, that's
lines
right,
up.
sir. That's right.
Yeah, but I think that just from a simple answer to answer your question, I mean, none of us remember the day that we were born, right? Somebody told us kind of what
Wow.
happened.
The evidence
Wow.
is here.
Right,
Wow.
you're here. Your
Wow.
mom and dad told you the story
Wow.
about how they met.
Wow.
You weren't there.
Wow.
It was passed down, and so
Wow.
their parents can tell them about that. Boom. You just accept what
So
they
you
say.
believe how old you are.
Right.
You just believe how old
Right. You don't really have.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Ooh, that's
You
kind of
You
good.
really believe how old you are.
That's kind of good.
Exactly.
Why do you believe it? Why do you trust these people?
Mhm.
Well, your parents, they never lied to you, but
Yes, they have.
if you,
But they didn't lie to you about that, right?
They didn't
My
lie about
baby,
that.
my baby talented,
you
cute.
didn't see y'all, them parents right there.
Lied.
Them parents tell your baby the truth.
Easter Bunny. For two
Y'all ain't do that, did you? Y'all did
Santa
Christmas.
Claus.
Y'all ain't do that. Not on
Jack
the,
Frost.
not on the boomers.
Huh?
Hold on, let me make a comment.
I
'Cause
still do too.
You do. I'm
I still believe
bring
it
my
too.
team
I
over.
believe,
Bring my
I
team
believe
over.
all of those entities have some spiritual validity, actually. Santa Claus, Easter, all of them have some. Their names came from somewhere, and they have some
We
spiritual
did a joint about Ishtar.
validity.
Yeah,
So it's real.
yeah, that's true.
It's real, but you don't want it in your house.
That part.
Right.
That part. Why would you believe a lie? One is can be told to you over and over. you tell some people, you know, just because you say it louder don't make it more true. Just because you say it
doesn't make it more true for some people.
real.
Right. But some people just they have no foundation. So it's shaky.
Yeah.
So this person over here said that melanin makes me superior. He's black, he looks like me, he said it. I'm gonna believe that because it makes me feel good.
Right.
Another black man with a doctorate in science and all of that, he comes up and says, well, melanin doesn't make you superior. It just gives you these factors in your life. Okay. Then another person comes up and says, from a different perspective, but scientific, about rhythm and vibrations and blah, 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 mixes all the ideas together and still comes up with you're superior because of this. So who do you believe? Where do you go? Where do you go?
Help us.
Right. One man says the earth was designed and formed million trillion years, a trillion million, million trillion years ago.
Yeah, that long.
Long. A lot of zeros, right? Then they say man was around 50 million, 70 million years.
Right.
We don't have no proof of that.
Not none.
We don't have no proof of that. That part.
No, that's
Now
true.
what we do have,
That's true that we don't have no proof.
we don't have no 70 million year proof. But what we do have proof of is all the dinosaurs that were supposed so-called died didn't die. We still have tortoises, sharks, dragons. We still have animals who live hundreds of years.
Yep.
Tortoise can be 150 years old. They still don't know how old they really are.
Right.
Elephants, they really don't know how old elephants are.
They outlive us.
Right.
Know that. That's all we know.
That's all we know.
All we know.
Sharks, great whites can outlive us. Squids, some whales. We don't know how old they are.
Right.
But we take it from people who we believe. Why do we believe them? I don't know. Why do some people believe them? Because I don't believe them.
But I mean, if you make it sound outrageous, for some reason, it's more believable.
And you qualify. You qualify with vain babblings, profane and vain babblings.
The book said talks about that. I talk about it.
You say, the space is infinite.
Yeah.
Infinite. 10 billion years.
Right. What is that?
We can't, you can fathom that.
Right.
It had to be so long ago. That's why we don't have any record.
Right. The closest star other than your sun is never reachable.
Yeah, unreachable.
That's a lot. Well, how is it unreachable? Because even the moon is reachable, but they planning to go back to that. That's close.
They plan to go back.
In the comments, is anybody asking me answering my question about
go back?
Anybody answering my question? Is the Bible true or false? Anybody? Is it true or is it false? Just make it a comment. I need to know.
It's 100% true.
I need to know. Hey, bro, y'all right there. Is the Bible true or false?
Is the Bible true or false?
Yeah, we just answered random people now since they stopped by right here. Y'all can't see them, but yeah. Is the Bible true or false? And it don't have nothing to do with religion or is you a Buddhist or Muslim. Is the Bible true or false?
It's metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Okay, I'll take that. Why do you say that? He said it's a metaphor. Y'all can't see this, but it's a really three guys right here.
But I say it's a metaphor because it was written by man, you know what I'm saying? You can't take everything so literal.
He said you can't take everything so literal because it was written by man. I got that. That's a great assessment. That is a great assessment. Is there anything greater than you? That's great also. Assessment. He said God. I asked him, was it anything greater than him? Now, with that being said, something greater than you, can those men who wrote the word be inspired by the God that's greater than you and myself to write something given to them by that creator?
Yeah.
Would that still, in fact, be metaphor? Or would it be truth? Because the God of all creation, all you see, don't see, was, is, and future, the continuum of everything,
The true author and finisher.
The true, listen, if he is that, which we can kind of agree, Tone, if we say that, then inspiration can come from him, a word can come from him, you know what I mean? And then be proven. Here we are, proven. The book says, prove me herewith, right? On many different levels. It says about money, it says about nature. Prove God, try him by this book, right? So my question was saying, and I was asking the people, is the Bible true? I was told that it was just a book of poetic Hebrew language. We were told that it was a book of parables. I said, yes, it is that. It is a book that has metaphors in it. Yes, I'm not contending that. I'm saying, yes, brother, it's that. It has metaphors. Can it help your life be better? Yes. I got some Muslim friends who swear by this because it makes their life better.
Yeah.
Again, we're not having a religious conversation, a truth conversation, right? Everything about religion is divisive. Every single thing. I stand to be corrected by anybody, anywhere. Religion is divisive. We're talking about relationship. Good God Almighty. I need you to have a relationship with the Creator, right? And so now, with that being said, is this true? Do we have something? We have to agree on something before we can pick sides and be opposite.
And let's go back to what we said earlier for the gentleman. Truth coming out of the mouth of men sometimes is according to their perspective.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
But truth and true.
And true.
The question is the Bible true?
Is it true?
Not is it truth?
Right, which is different. It's just like saying, is the earth round or is it a globe? This is a globe, right? We have that.
It has some roundness to it.
Right, but the top of this stool right here is both flat and round.
It's a planet.
So it's not a matter of semantics.
It's a plane.
We're saying truth.
Yes.
This is flat and round.
And
you see what I'm saying?
And it's circular.
This is a ball. It's round,
orb,
but it's globular. It's an orb,
it's
right?
An orb.
So true and truth. You feel what I'm saying, right? Hey, y'all can't see this, but his mind, he did like this with his mind. It's like the emoji. Yeah,
We had an explosion.
we had the gate up, right? The boom. We had the gate up, and some guys just walked by. So I just want to ask the people. Listen, we were talking about Richard Branson and Sir Richard Branson in the flight. They did a flight to the. Yeah, y'all can come in, please. Listen, it's just like this is how it goes, right? New people, new things. Man, we should have some more chairs. Hey, Jesse, y'all right over there. Pull the camera back for me. Somebody, y'all come here. Pull the camera back and reframe it so we can have these people in the jank. Brother, pull up a chair, move the globe. You know what I mean? Take the whole world in your hands. You talking about God having it in his hands. Listen, this live, y'all know how we do, right? It's live. Anything can happen.
At any moment.
At any moment. Jesse got it right there, Mo.
Oh, you gonna make it happen.
You gonna fix it up.
Well, I'm holding
What's your name, brother? Maurice. We got brother Maurice with the long beard. You a terrorist? Listen, do what they say. Y'all are terrible. Listen, you listen to the media and have your mind back. Right or wrong? Right. Look, he got one. They're like, you got a beard, then you can't go in no government building. Oh, I have mercy. That's wrong. And ain't it? Yeah. What's your name, brother? Rashad. What's up, brother? I'm Mike. This Pastor Joe. What's your name, brother? James. That's a good strong name with it. James, brother.
James answered the question.
All right. So check this out. So, y'all gonna work. All right, y'all going? Yeah. Jesse, where you going?
I'm gonna get out the camera.
Get the other camera then, brother. Set it up. My guy, I love you. Listen. All right, see y'all later.
All right, probably Thursday.
Hey, is the Bible true?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
No. You don't know Braxton? That's good. I'm with that. You just live it. Let me ask you this. Do you believe that the Big Bang is real or that you were created? Everything created itself. That's a good question.
It's a good question. I'll have to tell you on Thursday. That's
good.
It's not even a minute worth of things of what I believe and what I.
But listen, I respect that, okay? But I need you for truth to go and give me an answer. I'm really trying to find and search for what is really the truth of this thing. Did we create?
Y'all be easy, brothers.
Did everything
Boom!
come from a period size thing and then explode? And this book got words now. That is the most. It sounds ridiculous, but that is what they're teaching. And you're a teacher. When you look at it like that, it don't make no sense.
So I feel like when it comes to like humans and when it comes to the Bible, I feel like when we talk about that type of stuff, like there are scientists.
Yes, sir.
There are scientists that does like if I spoke to a scientist would tell me.
Hold on. Do you want to?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay. All right. What keep going.
What do you think he would tell you?
So I feel like a scientist would tell me what he researched, what he discovered, what he's seen through history as far as his knowledge, as far as like his degree. But I feel like if I spoke to someone like a pastor or a deacon or something along those lines, they might not tell me the same thing that a scientist might tell me. They might not say, well, according to this research back in 200 BC, this is what was going on. They might tell me something that they read from the Bible. Okay. So I feel like it's always going to be different perspectives on those topics because I feel like each individual that has, you know, some kind of study in it, the study within those lines or that education or that niche that they may have, it's always going to be different. So I feel like it's based on the individual. If they practice what a scientist say or if they take that literal, then that's what they're going to believe. But if they take the Bible literal and they practice the methods and the things that it requires,
principles,
the principles, then they're going to go along with that. So it just depends. A person that reads the Bible all the time can say a scientist doesn't know what he's talking about, but a scientist that may never read the Bible, he probably read the full Bible, and he may be like, well, this is what I discovered, but this is what the Bible says. So it's just, you know, like it's been scientists all throughout time. So just like we're able to, everyday technology expands, the same way back in the BC days, cavemen had to figure this out. Our ancestors, they had to figure out how to make a fire. They had to figure out how to hunt. They had to figure out how to create weapons and things like that. And it's no different from today. Scientists is figuring out how to fly cars and make robots. So it just depends on the person you're talking to.
So if any part of the Bible was scientifically proven to you, would you then have some or less reservation about the believing?
I feel like that there are things that is in the Bible that is scientifically proven, but not everything.
That's good.
That's great right there.
That's great.
It's a great start.
That's a great start. This is right in line with what we're talking about.
Right, because the flood has been proven.
That's right in line.
So have the giants.
I guess I kind of, well, I'm a teacher. I'm a pastor as well. But I wasn't born a pastor. I became one. So I've kind of gone through the whole process of science, right? Kind of versus the scriptures or whatever. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that what the scriptures kind of put forth, there's a consistency, not just from people that are Christians or read the Bible, but almost every civilization in the world has a earth model that is specifically based off of the same model that you see in the scriptures. It wasn't until the last few hundred years that the whole thing changed to we're on a spinning ball that's rotating and flying through space at these ridiculous,
called heliocentric,
a reset,
ridiculous speeds. And what I wanted to see if he could pull up was,
look at that, no longer available. How they do that?
That what happens though, a lot of stuff that has been brought to us as scientific is much more biased than what we see coming out of the scriptures. Even when you really get into the study of anthropology, even when you get to the study of gynecology, a lot of these guys have degrees because they were trying to prove that African Americans were genetically inferior.
Yes.
And as a result, they did these experiments, and now you're an expert in this field. is inherently racially biased, right? And so a lot of that made me question a lot about science. Specifically, I'm not a scientist at all. This stuff is kind of, but when you research some of the history, you kind of understand that there's a lot of motivation behind how things have been characterized, and that what was scientifically accepted as just common sense, all of a sudden got changed in the last few 100 years. Turn the camera to yourself, scientist, because you're a real scientist. He's a real scientist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, talk to.
He's actually a physicist.
He's a physicist. Work for NASA.
Black physicist. That's why I say, do you want to talk to one?
Work for NASA. Physicist. I mean, I could, but it's a real scientist, right?
Real
Who
scientist.
knows way more than me.
Here's the problem with science. If there's a problem, there's no problem with science. Here's the problem with what we believe in our science books. Most of the things that we believe to be fact are theoretical. Said to be theory by the people who wrote it.
This is good.
It's my idea. Okay. Copernicus came up with an idea. And he didn't even, I'm sorry, Copernicus stole an idea.
That part.
He didn't even come up with the idea. He wasn't even the originator of the idea of the earth being a spinning ball and not the center of the universe and whatever.
Heliocentric.
Helio is the sun. The sun is supposed to be helium gas. So heliocentric. All right.
Helio, sun, center.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
sun-centered.
that idea, that theory, still a theory, even said in some science books today, the theory.
The theory.
The heliocentric theory.
Theory.
The globe theory.
Theory.
It's a theory.
The theory of relativity.
It's a theory.
Gravity is a theory as well. The theory
Gravity is a theory that we've taken for law.
And gravity has not, now the globe ideal in some perspectives can be observed. The idea, the theory, right?
Okay.
Oh, I think the earth is moving. Why? Because I see the things in the sky moving.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
I think the earth is a ball because everything in the sky is round.
But
not necessarily a ball, but it's
with
round.
That, I read a lot, like a whole lot. So there is something that I did read that it specifically says that our minds, are wired to see shapes. It's wired to see shapes, it's wired to see patterns because that's how we operate.
Absolutely.
And when we go on the interstate and we see lines, we see roads, we see arrows, that's the way that we can associate our bodies and minds with the universe. So again, like I feel like in order for us to know that, a scientist had to like work on our brains and come up with these hypotheses or theoretical situations. So in a way, science is it's like a balance, but when it comes to I feel like a balance to everything. Like I wouldn't say it's 50-50, maybe it might be 80-20. But somewhere down the line, science has to play a part into us knowing stuff.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think that everything that you're saying is great.
Okay.
Let's start with that. I think that people that have dialogues, because what we're doing now is reasoning together. The Bible talks about that, and it encourages us to do that. I think we should agree on something, and then we exegete it. We talk about it, we examine it further, and then we can zero in on something and isogete it. Like this point is something that's so let's examine this one point further.
Okay.
What you see what I'm saying? That's isogete. So
being all over the place.
right. So we kind of narrow it down to a thing.
Okay.
So you were saying that I fully believe in science.
Okay.
Take that. Like let's start with that. The Bible talks about it. There's natural science, then there's modern science. We have all been indoctrinated, great term, great word, with modern science. Let me get one sidebar to kind of make my point home. How old are you?
27.
27. You remember Obama being president?
Yeah, 2008.
You were able to vote for him? Were you able to vote at that time?
No.
You were a little too young.
Yeah.
But you remember a black man being president.
Yeah.
Before Obama was president, there was no reference for us. They said, oh, you can try to be president. But me and then my mother and grandmother never could imagine that a black man could be president. There are people that were born 20 so years ago who never had a reference of it not being a black president. So now it always exists, period, with absolution, because there was one. And they don't have any reference to before that. My grandparents were like, they were still sharecropping. This is a true thing. My grandparents was actually, my mother grew up 50 miles from here picking cotton. This is I mean, it can't get no more true than that, right? We don't have a reference for that because it was before us.
So all we know is what they tell us.
You're owning something now.
I get what you're saying.
Right? Science, natural science, says observe it, assess it, do an experiment, do it again, give it to the next man to do, prove it. Everything that God says, I created it, prove it. The interesting part is that modern science says, take my word for it and read this book. Because school is not about learning, it's about remembering. Come on now. They don't teach you to think, they teach you to remember what I told you.
Yes.
You said a couple of key things. Scientists, which removed yourself from the equation, didn't even mean to do it. The brilliant man that you are, who reads a lot, removed himself from the thing that he could easily assess. And we're not talking about physics. He's a physicist. We ain't talking about rocket science. We're talking about basic natural science. The beauty about natural science is that all of nature, which you're a part of, proves itself. You can use all of your five senses to prove this book and to prove nature. For example, we see the sun rising.
Yes.
We say sunrise and sunset. But we repeat the heliocentric idea that the sun is the center and we were doing revolutions around the sun. We even say happy revolutions around the sun, you know, but we're not moving. We say it out of our mouth subconsciously, sunrise, sunset.
Because for that to happen,
see it.
The sun has to be moving.
Right. The sun has to be moving, and we say it.
But the sun, it moves.
It does move.
Absolutely. In both cases.
But do you move on the earth 1,000 miles of rotation?
We might be just finally discovering it.
No. Now we're going back to what theory. That's a theory.
That is a theory.
That is a theory.
It's part of the heliocentric
But
theory.
everybody, if you go outside, do you feel like you're moving? No. Have you ever felt like you were moving?
And you can't even determine you can't fathom in the finitude of your mind right now what 1,100 miles feels like.
But you can think, and you can have an idea of what 1,100 miles per hour of water moving
might feel like.
Would look like.
Yeah.
Can't
you?
Yeah. Can't you think about that? Water on a ball moving at
start from your reference.
100 miles per hour.
It's not going to stay up there.
It's not.
But what if we are moving and they just never told us?
They tell us.
But they tell you all the time. They said that you're going around the sun. Yeah. That's in all the science.
1,000 miles an hour.
You're over 1,000.
That's our spin.
Our speed is 1,000 miles an hour.
Hold on. Negating the wobble on the axis.
Right.
Don't even talk about that.
But keep going. But it's not just that. It's 1,000. We're moving 1,000 miles an hour.
Here it is.
And then.
Here it is.
Okay, because I don't know the numbers, man.
Right.
Y'all know.
NASA's, here it is. Let me read you something.
Yeah.
I've been taking these notes for years. NASA and modern astronomy say that the Earth is, and this is all provable, a giant ball. It's tilted, wobbling, and spinning over 1,000 miles per hour around its central axis. is also traveling 67,000 miles per hour, circling the sun.
It's pretty doggone fast through solar flares. Okay.
Okay, but you know when you spin around and you get dizzy, if you're not spinning around, you're not going to get dizzy until you spin around.
So then we're not spinning because I ain't feeling dizzy right now. I feel clear. I'm very lucid. I'm having lucid dreams.
Well, that should actually only happen if you get to the center of the spin of it.
Right. So the center is like over 6,000 miles to the center, and we ain't dig a hole but 8 miles long.
Or to the axis. You got to know exactly where the axis lies.
Man, listen. So we're doing all those movements. Hold on, brother. And we're spiraling the sun is spiraling 500,000 miles per hour around the Milky Way, and it's pulling all us and all the planets behind us. And the entire galaxy that we live in is rocketing a ridiculous 670 million miles through the universe. All of those motions originating from an alleged Big Bang cosmogenic explosion 14 billion years ago.
Hold on. Through a vacuum.
In a vacuum with no air. That's a grand total, hear me, 67,568,000 miles per hour in several different directions.
At the same time.
Yet no one has ever seen, felt, heard, measured, or proven a single one of these motions to exist whatsoever. My goodness.
Like when I, as a third grade math and science teacher, pull up my science book and I have to teach my students that the sun is 93 million miles away. My question is, how do y'all know this? Where's the ruler at? How in the world did you come up with this number? It doesn't make really, if you think about it, it's so hot and it's so far away,
sir,
that it can heat the equator to hundreds of degrees. But 2,000 or 3,000 miles away is ice, right? Think about that. It's so hot and so far away, right? It's 93 million miles away from the equator, but 3,000 miles away is ice. But that doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't make it starts to get to the point where, and I'm no scientist, but I do know about common sense. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me, and it never has. And so then what we're told is that the moon is 400,000 times smaller than the sun, but because it looks the same size, it's because it's 400,000 times closer. So it's just real convenient that the moon, that what we see in the sky, or what I see in the sky, when I look up in the sky, I see a sun and a moon that are the same size. Same size.
Y'all making me
like eclipses work.
You know what's interesting? I know y'all never even thought about none of this. Like you never really considered.
I never thought about it either.
You know what I mean? You like sat down like this and considered.
But one of the scientists that you said was that it will help you believe, or two of them actually, Michelson and Morley. You ever heard of the experiment with light phases and light waves? Okay, so they proved that there's no difference between the speed of light in the direction of movement through the presumed ether and the speed at a right angle. So what they're saying is,
break that down.
All right, so
help us, sir.
A right angle to something is a perpendicular angle, right? So I can go against that thing, right? That thing can hit me from the side and move me off of my path, right?
Sure.
Light, supposing it is photonic, the duality, right? Wave and photonic, right? So it's a particle with wave motion. Okay. So this particle should be able to be moved in a medium, right? Okay. If the medium is moving against the path or adverse to the path of the particle, it should slow it down, should have some kind of friction, should have some kind of effect on that moving thing, correct? All right. They shot light in the direction of the movement, our movement, okay, and then shot light across from our movement, perpendicular to the ether. So if we're moving through the ether this way, we're gonna shoot it with the ether, parallel to the waves, whatever the presumed ether is.
Another story.
Right. So we shooting it straight, then we shooting it sideways. Neither way had an effect on this thing, which is supposed to be a particle. So something doesn't exist.
Yeah, everything can't be right.
The movement don't exist, right?
Or the light.
The light don't exist. The ether don't exist.
And it's provable.
Or none of them things exist.
So
the Michelson-Morley experiment showed that it can prove by the use of light that the earth is not moving.
So I'm gonna have to get up.
Look that up. Yeah.
Oh, brother, well, I'm sorry. Because y'all just walked by. It was interesting. And I wanted to answer that question.
Yeah, but before we, I want y'all to answer the question.
Yes.
Do you believe the Bible is true?
True.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
Okay.
When we were saying true and truth.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Yes. And some stuff been taken out. And
Added to it.
some stuff been added.
Because you had some translations.
See what I'm talking about?
You can't,
So
it's
now,
hard to translate, if not almost impossible in some cases, ancient languages to anything current.
right.
You talk
So,
Hebrew,
it's
Aramaic.
not a trick. You know what I mean? We
see what I'm saying?
I welcome that question.
They've changed over the years.
Yeah, the languages themselves.
Hebrew has changed over.
One thing that is tragic. Two things that when you discuss Bible, it becomes a religious conversation, like what I was talking about over there, which automatically divides people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off rip.
Right.
It becomes that, or it becomes either a thing about religion, or it becomes a thing about science, which science is a type of religion.
Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
is there a difference that you feel like in Buddha, Muslim, Christianity, or is it all the? Or is that another day for another?
That is another day for another. But listen, hold on. This is what I'm saying to you. This Bible forum, this discussion, because we just started as a discussion, and we had this like all the time. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. Like having a great time. I need you to come back, sit on the couch with us. I'll rearrange it and have you, and we'll talk about we've done, let's say, I don't know, 20 of these. We did more, but let's just for the sake of the conversation say 20. Out of the 20, 18 of them, 17 of them have been just people like you said, I got a question for you. And we bring it up.
Right. Okay.
The other thing I was gonna say, the Bible makes people take sides. And we have never been offensive by that.
Okay.
You say, oh, like one of our homeboys say, oh, it's just a book of parables. We like, all right. If you go to really like people like, we're gonna say church people, they can be like,
And most of them don't believe some of the words in it.
Right. So they scare me. You won't get that here is what I'm saying. You welcome. Did you feel welcome?
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Felt the love, like it's all like.
I felt the knot.
I feel like y'all talked about the Bible in a positive light. It's not like y'all was bashing anything.
We're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
But even with Buddha,
so yeah,
Buddha, Muhammad, Hercules, Heru, going back to ancient Assyrianism, Isis, Osiris. You no matter how far back you go, don't think that the fact that those ideals parallel.
Yeah.
That's what Joe's saying.
Doesn't that birth in you some idea of it being true?
Because there's a continuum.
See what I'm saying?
It is
All right. So is there a one God or something?
Brother, that's it. I need you to come
back.
And for me, I would say, I mean, it's not hard. One.
Okay.
One creator.
Is it a man?
But the thing, go ahead, Pastor.
Okay, well, just by definition, God has to be the supreme being, right? The God of the Bible is a spirit, so God isn't a man or a woman. God is a spirit.
Okay.
So, which makes sense that's again like that makes sense to me, right? So all powerful, all knowledge,
Made he them.
all love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The infinite. Some people say infinite wisdom, the sum total of all knowledge that has ever existed, that ever will exist. That's God for me.
Okay.
Spirit. So there's one. You can make anything you want a God, right? But in terms of-
Anything. Because y'all be getting this shit like
Y'all understand?
Okay, but that's another.
And I think that like the idea that there's different religions and different expressions doesn't really bother me as much as it bothers certain pastors.
Have y'all
That's why I said you can come and really ask us anything.
Have y'all ever heard of the book called The Power of Positive Thinking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
See,
We're readers here as well. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna definitely read.
So I have read that book. I only read it one time, but if this is the same book, he said that as people, all of us are gods.
I'm mad at that either. You have a portion of God in you. I would say you got to come back.
Yeah,
man. I need you to.
Yeah.
We have a podcast we do every Tuesday night. It's called TNT.
Yeah.
We would love for y'all to like, subscribe, do all that good
Yes.
stuff.
TNT sessions.
TNT sessions.
All right. That's what it is on
We do
YouTube.
Tuesday night at
And-
7:00. Sometimes
Yeah.
we go live, sometimes we tape it. But I mean, if you don't do that, that's fine. But we would love to
Yeah,
have
TNT sessions.
come
We
back,
need y'all
man.
there.
Like some
The
of the
people
questions-
saying hey to y'all in there, like,
Yeah.
we
Another that
James,
crazy is called
Maurice.
We're actually a production team as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's what
okay,
initially
I got
made
it.
us stop.
So it was
Photography.
ironic. We was looking at
y'all do what kind of production?
videography, photography.
So
I got
And that's another whole conversation.
Short films, documentaries. We're actually working on a short film in September called The Story of Mo. So
This Mo right here. This my Mo right here.
so yeah, full on production company. So that's what made us stop because we see.
Well, where was y'all going? You back in there?
we was stopping to see what y'all had going on here.
Wow.
By the
You
grace
got
of
cards,
God.
you got cards on you?
It's like I got
Y'all need to leave your information somewhere with Jesse right there, like that. And man, look at God. Look how God did that. Listen, I'm gonna ask you this question. Joe asked the people this: why would you serve a God that you could fit in your pocket? That quick, did that hit you, brother? That a God that you could control, that you could manipulate, that you could. Why would you do
that you can break.
So yes, something greater than me. Yes, I need it. That I can submit to with ease. Yes, greater than. Y'all go and endorse Me's.
Yes, vibes.
Me's Vibes Photography. Me's Vibes. I'll post it in there. Me's Vibes Photography. Yeah, we're gonna get that. We got that right there.
Awesome.
Bless God. Listen, brother, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Still on right there, man. Look, brother, Maurice. Man,
I do. Some people do call me Mo.
I'm
You know,
just
that's
saying,
Mo B. Rashad, brother, love you, man. Listen, man, that's great. Hey, hold on, look, come right here in the camera. I need y'all to see this. Look at this.
The ball is yours.
The ball.
The world is
Look at it.
The ball.
The world is. But look, this is the key. Look on his other arm. That's a lot going on, brother. Waiting for you to come on back. You know what I mean? Soldier in there, on up. All right.
Another book that was
Love y'all, man.
The 12 Rules for Life. 12 Rules for Life. I don't know.
Yo, I can take
Look up the knowledge of the hope.
The knowledge of the hope.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
Charles.
Somebody's asking.
Yes, you may
Yes,
come
me.
in,
By all
but we are live, so the people gonna hear you and see you. And
Andre
you
Silva play.
all right. Thank y'all, brother.
I appreciate
We love y'all, man.
All right, love
Oh man, that was divine appointment. Listen, it is so amazing. We didn't even get all the way into the lesson. We didn't get all the way into the lesson, and it was still amazing, right? So the question, is the Bible true or not? Is it true or false? Tell us, is the Bible true or false? I need to hear from you. People were making some comments in there. Emil said he wished he could prove it. What do you wish you could prove, Emil? I'll wait for you to answer. What do you wish that we could prove? Because I
Core
would like
samples
to.
have proven that the flood happened.
Yeah.
There are 2 landings due to scientific so-called evidence, carbon dating or whatever. 2 possible landings, one place in Turkey of Noah's Ark.
Mount Ararat.
So yeah, that part.
And they've cordoned it off where you can't go and see for yourself.
The spirit,
That's something.
the spirit
in
of
that part
destiny.
right there.
The spirit of destiny exists,
Hitler had it, didn't he? For a
which
minute?
was used to stab Jesus through the side and into the heart.
Right.
That exists.
Yeah.
What else exists?
Oh, he said that comment was about God and gods. Wish we could prove it. All right.
Okay.
I would say this to you about us being gods. And like I told the young man, I think we have a portion of God in us, right? So the light and love and energy that you have of God in you, that piece of him and the pneuma that he's given you to make you alive, you have that. To call yourself a God, then I would ask you to create something other than chaos. No, this is the truth. This is how it. So now I stand to be corrected or sit to do it. I was in the barbershop. The guy said, call me God. I said, if you create a blade of grass, one, not a forest, not a pasture. One blade of grass, not a flower with many petals. Make a seed appear. So I'm talking about the most minuscule of things.
Right.
Create from nothing now.
Right.
And then I will consider that more.
Or make.
Or make.
A man can't make a baby by himself.
You can't even make it. So I will call you God then. I will consider it. But I know that I can prove that everything else exists and there's something greater than me created.
Yeah, Emil, I think it's kind of simple, man. Like everything that exists is the product of a creator. There is nothing that exists in all of life that is not the product of a creator.
Right.
Why do we believe that about every single thing, but not the creator?
Yeah.
And it's like it makes more sense for us to have exploded and be here by chance, but we would never accept that explanation for any other thing.
Right.
For nothing else.
Nothing else would you accept that it just happened.
Right. It would be faith almost to believe that everything just happened. Common sense says there's a reason that there's a design that says, boom. And we were going to talk about the firmament.
We were supposed to talk about the firmament. This was called the glass ceiling. But we've been broken past the glass ceiling.
But the reality is that if the firmament exists, that's your evidence.
If the firmament exists, that is your
Because there is no way that you can get around it. See, if this is true and we're flying around, maybe so. But if there is a firmament that has shielded this enclosed system, which I heard Obama say not too long ago, I heard dude say, I heard
Hillary Clinton said it.
But the atheist science man that's on TV, see it, the science guy, he said it.
Bill Nye,
the science guy.
I was gonna see it, the science kid.
See it was the science kid.
He looked like the science kid.
He looked
Bill
like
Nye's the science guy.
Right.
He said we're in the closed system. If we're in an enclosed system, then there's no way around it.
There's no way around it. Which by default would prove the Bible.
Obama
which
also
is my
said
question.
we finally reached
low Earth orbit. Let me
What
say
happened with that Richard Branson?
let me say my notes that we initially want to start, and we're gonna close this out. We're talking about the firmament. I didn't even read the scripture. Let me read that. Genesis 1 says 1 and 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Oh, turn this around so I can get y'all to be watching it. Number 2, let's see. Let's cut to it. The waters from the waters. And God, right here, verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. I wonder why the sky is blue, because there's water up there. Just perhaps, I don't know. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. They said a day could be 1,000 years, but he said the sun rose, and then it said, and it was light and dark, and that's a day for us. So it wasn't 1,000 years, it was an actual day. A real day that you know what it is. It's not a mystery.
Right.
Help me.
But it would take us forever to do what he did.
Correct.
That's the problem.
That part.
They can't fathom.
That part. But you can fathom 670 million miles of speed going around.
Or trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. I can't fathom that.
I don't understand.
I can't fathom $100 in debt.
Making sense versus having faith are two different things. Yes, sir. We can prove Through genetics, we're 50% related to a banana, and our bodies are more than 50% bacteria. So true. We're created with such complexity too that can't be changed. Bacteria? That's what he just said. Image of God. The person is the mirror isn't breathing. Right. That's a good, Karen. The person in the mirror ain't breathing. Yeah, man. Oh, that's interesting. That's all interesting.
Making sense versus having faith are two different things.
That's what he just said.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about faith. I'm talking about making sense.
That's what we're talking about. Can it just make sense? Can it just make sense at all? What anybody's talking about? Can it make sense?
It can back up your faith. But I like to deal with stuff that makes sense.
That's what I like.
And some of the stuff that we are told just doesn't make any sense.
That part.
There should not be a North Star if we're moving the way we're supposed to be moving.
That's what Karen said. Just said.
It's always there.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
However, we can see it, provable.
It's there.
Yes. But why are we still denying it? I don't understand.
And there's no South Star either.
Ooh, and there is no South Star. That's good, sir. It's a South Pole.
There's more than one.
Well.
Well.
He said, we can't prove faith. I like to deal with yes.
So.
Is it true that we exist? Is it true that
no? According to
what is
the guy in the wheelchair name
with the teeth?
Hawkins.
According to Steve Hawkins, David Hawkins, what's his name?
Stephen Hawkins.
Peter Stephen.
He was mad because God didn't get him about that jail.
Oh, is that what it was?
So,
but was he mad? We don't even know.
Truth, Emil.
He never spoke.
Do things become created by happenstance?
He's always smiling.
Or is there a creator? You hilarious.
He is, man.
You said was what?
He was saying you can't prove faith. I like to deal with truth. And I believe that what we are proposing, I know, is that if it's true and truth for every aspect of life that we're able to observe, why would it then not be true for that which we see? Right?
I mean, do you actually see the sunrise or you don't?
Yeah, but the fact that there is a sun, which means there's had to be somebody with enough sense to design it.
Well, right. Maybe.
Or some entity with enough sense. I'm going to say somebody. Or an entity with enough sense to design it.
Maybe. Because they're saying, it takes faith.
No, it doesn't take faith.
I want to know what.
Here's an iPhone. I know the designer, Steve Jobs. He came up with it. It didn't exist at one point. Now it exists.
He on the intellectual right to it.
Okay, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Right?
But yeah.
It
didn't exist, and then it did.
But faith is a choice. Kind of, it is. But ignorance is more of a choice.
Hello.
You have to talk to me about how in the world, if there's a speaker, I know that somebody had to put the speaker together. There's a chair.
Correct.
A computer.
Why would I not? That's not faith for me to understand that the earth had to get here the same way.
It's not.
It's not faith.
Or you.
Right, or me. Because that's a universal law.
Mm-hmm. Or trees and bushes. Why plants? Why plants? There's so many species of plants. Most trees have bark.
Yeah.
They have the rings. Yeah. They have the leaves.
Most trees do, yes.
But they have their own individual. By design, they reproduce after themselves.
Uh-huh. That's
oak tree is not going to make you a hickory tree.
That's divine design.
It's just not going to happen.
It's just not.
It's never happened. And it never will.
That part.
People say, well, they're ligers. Tigers and lions don't even live on the same continent.
They don't even live on the
Man has done some things, some alchemy.
Interrupted.
Right, have performed some alchemy. And this has been done before.
Mm-hmm.
And it has caused some destruction of the earth.
That part.
See, if there was a liger, right, without mankind intervention, and lions and tigers had never lived on the same continent, then that would make about as much sense as thinking that the earth could be here without a creator. There is a plausible explanation for the existence of this because we put this together and that together.
We did.
And
right.
we did it. That has to be, I don't even call this faith, how the earth got here. Because every single thing else, there is not one single thing in life that does not have a designer. Nothing. So how come it takes faith for us to think that the earth is? It seems that faith would inform that it had to be something different than can be explained.
Right.
For me, Emil, I don't
right.
I'm
right.
not smart at all.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Right.
We clearly see the sun rising and sun setting. Modern science tells us that we're moving around it. The Bible says that it is moving and we're still.
Right.
The Bible says that.
The Bible says that.
My body says that.
My body says that.
And I gotta watch my body.
Nobody has proved.
Anybody.
Nobody has proved that we're going around the sun. But we're saying that it's true. I think that takes faith.
It does. Nobody's
when we actually see the sun moving and say sunrise and sunset. We see the horizon. It's not curvising. It's horizon because it's horizontal.
Flat line.
Flat, straight line.
Mm-hmm.
The higher you go up, it raises to your eye level.
Flatly so.
Man, that don't take faith. That's provable.
I can see that.
You can, yeah, I mean, like, I guess, you know, okay, so I'm done.
Yeah.
But you can say still can't prove it for everything.
Yes, you and that let's put a pin right there. That can be your statement. I'm believing, and this is not faith, this is truth. that is your cornerstone about proving. Can't be proven.
Right.
That can be said about every single thing.
Every single thing.
Period. What I'm submitting and suggesting and petitioning you for, Brother Emil, is to let us together prove a thing.
It's gonna cost a lot of money.
I don't think so. Let's basic, something basic. When you come here, as I know you will, we are going to go and watch the ships. This is free. I'll drive, not even no gas.
I'll buy a telescope.
We're gonna see how it's coming together to watch the ships as my students have go over the horizon or the curve or however you want to say it. But we first must have the information from the science that you so deeply are protecting.
Diligently have faith in.
Yes, you have faith in this science, and I'm not mad at that, but I want to prove it with you once and for all. The Earth curvature ratio, you ain't looked it up. You said you would though. Is 8 inches per mile square. There you go. 8 inches per mile square. That's doable and seeable. I want to prove it if it's true or not.
Well, it's already been proven in the longest
y'all
picture.
are sitting on that couch. No, you can't, because I'm not sitting on it.
You're not sitting. Look, go under there. His hand. He's not.
See, you can't.
But
how we just bust that in the head.
Right.
Here we go.
Bigger.
So look up. I want him to Google because he's where we getting the information from. Because there are books too with this information.
Check your source. Ain't nobody really reading
Guinness book, the Guinness book, or Google the furthest picture shot. Period. The furthest photograph taken.
Yeah, we can prove that right now. Email, look that up. Everybody in the
with that said,
hold on.
It should be a picture of the Earth.
Should
be.
You don't have that one.
But it ain't that.
The longest distance photograph ever taken. And it's not of the Earth. Boy, that's good right there. Everybody look that up. You can just Google it right now. The longest distance photograph ever taken. I used to have that on my phone, actually.
Yes, somewhere.
The longest distance photograph ever.
You should not be able to see the mountains in the distance.
But you can see them clearly.
Yeah, they're there.
Yep.
How many miles is it? I don't know.
Man, it was long.
I seen it.
Yeah, it was long.
Anybody? Somebody write it in the comments. Mm-hmm.
This still don't have to do with the firmament.
We'll get there.
Yeah, you ready to go?
Hey, I'm just loud. Well, I don't like the way I smell. Man, I was out.
Oh, that's me, Doc.
No, Doc. Before I came in the door, I reached for the knob and I was like, wait a minute. I didn't even eat onions today.
How long is 443 kilometers?
Hey, man.
Huh?
I was going to fight, cuz.
How long is that? How long is 443 kilometers?
It's 443 kilometers long.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
It's a
Longer than 443 miles is what it is. Longer than that.
Yep. Look at that, man. That's the longest one.
Or the picture across the Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
That's a pretty long
59
picture.
miles, yeah.
It's a pretty long picture. But you can see almost the bottoms of the buildings.
That's 275.267 miles. That's a photograph. The longest
That's a
distance
long
photograph.
picture.
275.267 miles. That's a lot of curve.
A lot of curved eyes.
All right, let's just take them miles and put it in the Earth curvature calculator.
You're going to plug it in.
Yeah, Doc. 275. Hold on, let me copy it to make sure I didn't even get it wrong. Anybody saying anything in the comments? Earth curvature calculator.
They have those?
Yeah, because it's
People keep messing up the equation.
Listen, you gotta know what it is. Gotta call
Like you
Gary.
said, satellites aren't real. No, they're not real.
Have you seen
I've
one?
never
You didn't
seen
see one when Richard Branson just went up in 55 miles.
I was in NASA's Goddard Space Center in Maryland, where the Hubble was produced. I didn't see any satellites either.
Wow.
Honestly, I
Neil
did not.
deGrasse Tyson. Okay, so let's do this because I'm done. So if the globe model is real, then Neil deGrasse Tyson is a liar because he's changed it 3 times.
That part.
It's an oblong elliptoid.
He says it's pear-shaped.
Right.
It's pear-shaped now.
Yeah, it's thinner on the top than it is on the bottom.
Yeah, and it's so like we cannot have this stuff 75 different ways.
And the pictures can't show the pair.
Right. For some weird reason, but they can show it when it's a globe.
However they want to show it.
Yeah, but they don't show a pair. We've never seen a pair. I mean, we just gotta stop.
Yeah.
This is how much curve it should be. How? 15 kilometers of curve.
Which is what?
Over that photograph.
Go back.
It looks straight to me.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Which means that whatever they saw, they shouldn't have seen.
Right.
Unless the picture has a lens that can curve around.
It's a GoPro.
I want to prove that, Emil.
Right.
I'm just saying I want to prove that because this has already been done. I want to prove something with Emil that we can prove.
I can understand that.
Satellites.
So what you do
We've
is
never seen a
take
satellite.
take your laser light. Take your laser light. One side of Lake Michigan.
I go to Lake Michigan.
I will. I've been there.
I've been there. I've been to Stephenville and looked across it and seen it.
And seen the city.
And saw the city. They told me it was a
mirage.
A super mirage.
Super, because it's double imposed.
It flipped
over
and it
flipped over again.
to the flip back. So it's right to the right side.
Right. Double flip.
It flipped twice. I mean, it's right side up, like you actually see it.
It's not a mirage, it's an emirage.
So you didn't see what you saw.
You didn't see that.
My mind is hemorrhaging.
Don't look at his hand over here. Look right here.
This is the thing about it. So I'm finished.
Man, we've been saying we were finished, man.
You didn't see what you saw. What you saw was a double mirage.
Right.
You saw a flip.
Right.
And that's what we accept.
A hemorrhage.
Except for not, we're not gonna accept what you saw.
What you actually
We're gonna accept the double flip. Got to be true.
Right.
Because there's no possible way that you literally
So
saw
it went through 3 lenses.
Right.
The double flip.
Right.
And flip.
Right.
Back.
Flip. Right. That's the thing. We see the sun and the moon same size, but no, what we believe is, oh yeah.
He said they didn't leave the
400,000.
atmosphere. No, they
Right.
didn't. All right.
They
He
didn't
said,
leave what
email
happened.
what's holding the satellites in the atmosphere. He said, gravity, the same gravity that keeps the moon circling the earth. Got it. All good. All good. I got it. Here's the thing with gravity.
Yeah.
Gravity holds all the oceans in place. Got you. Gravity holds, the sun's gravity holds the Earth, Mercury, Venus, all the planets. And Mercury is tiny and closer, according to our images that we have, our what do they call them? Our displays that they give us. And it doesn't pull Mercury into itself.
Mm-mm.
But that's all right. Gravity.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Jupiter should pull everything.
Because it's big, right?
But it's our distance.
But it's distance, right?
Quadrillion miles.
Gravity.
Million.
Gravity is holding right here. We're not even talking about outer space. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Holding the Earth
Mm-hmm.
is holding the moon in place, 238,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And all the oceans in place, trillions and trillions of tons of water that we actually see. We know it's there. We go to the beach, you can see it, put your hand in the water. The water's right there. Gravity is holding that in place.
Uh-huh.
Yet, I can stand up.
Right.
And gravity didn't hold me down.
Right.
I can jump, but I don't stay up.
Right.
You can go to the dollar store right now, Emil. You want to prove something? Spend $1.05. Go buy a balloon that says "Get well soon." And gravity, the force that holds satellites in place, will not hold that balloon. It's gonna float on. What's the song? Float on.
Right.
So it costs you $1.
Because of the lack of density on the inside.
That part.
Oh, but gravity don't work with density.
It's gravity.
It's gravity because it works with water because water's not there.
And if the balloon had no air in it, it'll still drop to the ground.
Yeah. But will it be pulled to the ground?
No.
A pound of
You
lead.
change the density of the balloon,
Right.
then it will float.
A pound of helium and a pound of lead are both a pound. One floats and one does not.
You are saying something.
Because gravity is selective. It don't like you.
So gravity is intelligent. So gravity is a god, a little g.
Little g. There's a big G and a little g in gravity, though. No, I've seen the equation.
Listen.
Man, we gotta go, man. Ask about the firmament. We'll be here for another
It's
2
the
hours.
firmament, man.
Next week,
Y'all got to talk about birds, man.
Finish up.
Admiral Bird.
So look, all right, we're gonna go, man. Listen, we got to talk about
Jump.
Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson,
Oh, yeah.
and this space flight that they just took. He just told me that Elon Musk
it's going in.
is going next
Well, he
week.
goes on Tuesday. So
On
yeah.
Tuesdays, he go to space.
And Bezos.
Yeah.
And they said, so this is the thing that I wanted to address, that they said they were in space. Every news report said they went to finally to outer space.
Or
And
outer space.
I was into space.
Because they proved it when they said you can take your seatbelts off and they start floating.
That's how they proved it. But
That's
the thing
that's
was,
not proof though, because
they went
if you
55 miles high.
if you free fall in an airplane, that's why we have to buckle up on airplanes. Why? Because during turbulence, the plane can free fall and your hind parts will go to the ceiling.
So we got to buckle up.
You better buckle up because your weight won't matter
So commercial flights go 36,000 feet.
a mile high. Let's call it the Mile High Club.
All right. They went 55 miles up. 55,000 feet, which is 10 miles. That's how high they went.
Yeah.
And they were in
That's what
space.
they said.
Sir Richard Branson. I did the math.
He was in outer space when he did
He
that.
was in space. They just said space. He went to space. They showed pictures, and there was no satellites. They showed pictures of the,
No stars either.
and then no stars, but then no satellites. But they showed the pictures. They was going around. They showed more pictures of the people's reactions, not the out the window.
Like they do with this NASA. I'm not gonna talk about
Yeah.
my people.
So I just want to say we're gonna talk about that. If they went to space, then the firmament is not true.
It might have went up though. You know,
You can go up pretty high.
go pretty high.
Low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit.
They didn't leave that, but they went
They
to
didn't
space.
leave the atmosphere.
They didn't. That's what Emil said.
They didn't leave the atmosphere.
But they went to space.
No.
They said they went to space.
We're in space one now. Number one space.
Boom on that. We are in space. Number one. Space. Yo, I'm done. I love you all. Listen, like, share, subscribe. We're going to ask the young boys to come back. We love you to life. Do research. Find out what is true. All right?
I'm going to put on some aluminum and magnesium-free deodorant next time.
Listen, aluminum.
Natural deodorant.
I smell like yesterday. Today.
Smell like the Beatles old song.
Listen, why?
Yes.
It's no reason for you to have morning breath in the afternoon.
Come on.
And then when we get later into the afternoon days, don't have morning breath when it's nighttime.
Why is it called morning breath? I like it
because it's morning
Don't
somewhere.
mess up my morning like that. I like the morning.
Man,
I love y'all, brother.
don't brush with fluoride if you can help it.
You can help it.
No fluoride.
Well, most of their pineal glands are gone anyway.
Oh Lord,
You get them back.
that's what we talking about.
You
Faith.
can't refurbish yourself. Your body
It's
can't heal
petrified.
itself.
All right, we're gonna go off this jank. Emil calling me now.
We love y'all.
All
right.
We'll come back. We didn't know it was gonna be like this.
We
I told
did.
y'all.
I love y'all.
And
All
then
right.
it's subject-
Let me answer
Boom.
this. Boom. Peace. Hello.
My main man throwing down.
No, you didn't. That's what I'm saying. They said they went into space.
Yeah, we didn't say you gotta end it, brother.
How do I end this thing, man?
Hey, all on we
Because
talk.
we listen.
Don't
This
say
is
nothing.
terrible.
Don't say nothing. Might lose. some
They did. No,
confidence.
not you, bro. I'm just saying they.
Nah,
It's
not
terrible that they said that. They did. They lied and said they went up
I mean, you know, they define space by what they define.
to
it by.
space. That whole thing is crazy.
Like you said, number one space.
Oh yeah. So they were floating above the earth, but
In
not in space. So
Outer
the news people said they was in space.
But while they was up there.